Woohoo! Ever feel like the work world is changing crazy fast? Like you can't even hit refresh fast enough to keep up? Today, we're diving deep into that whole idea. We're talking about the future of work, in the age of AI. And not just like robots on factory floors. This is different. We're talking AI taking over everything, even maybe the CEO's office.
Yeah, it's a wild time to be thinking about work, that's for
Oh,
sure.
no kidding. So we're using issue hashtag 64 of synthetic work for this deep dive. That newsletter is always on top of the latest AI craziness. Get ready, because this stuff is seriously thought-provoking.
It really makes you think.
Okay, so Synthetic Work talked about this article from the New York Times that really caught my eye. It basically said even CEOs, the big bosses, they might not be safe from AI taking over their jobs.
Right. And they use this phrase, dark suites, which is kind of a chilling image. Basically, picture AI systems calling all the shots, making huge decisions, maybe without humans even really knowing what's going on.
Whoa, so instead of some CEO in a corner office, it's algorithms running the show from some server room somewhere.
Exactly. It's a fascinating, if kind of creepy, thought. Imagine. You could have a small business owner, maybe they didn't go to some fancy school for business, but with AI, they could analyze all this market data, figure out the best prices, make super smart decisions, just like a CEO with years of experience. That's the power of AI. It can make those skills accessible to almost anyone.
Wow. It's like AI could make business leadership way more democratic. But then that makes you wonder, if AI can handle the big picture thinking, the decision making, then what happens to leadership as we know it?
That's the million-dollar question everyone's trying to figure out. And it's not just like some theoretical debate either. There's already real-world stuff happening. Synthetic work mentioned this trend in India that's kind of worrying. Apparently, way fewer graduates from their top engineering schools, the IITs, those are like the MIT or Caltech of India, are getting hired.
Oh, wow. And some people are saying this is because of AI.
Yeah. It might not be that AI is directly replacing those grads' jobs, at least not yet, not always. It's more like AI is making it way harder to even get your foot in the door. When companies can use AI to do more with fewer people, they get to be a lot pickier about who they hire.
Makes sense. It's not even just about having some specific skill anymore. It's about having those things that AI can't do, like being creative, thinking critically. And this isn't just some guess either. Ahmad Mustaq, he's the former CEO of Stability AI, they made Stable Diffusion, for making AI images. He even tweeted about this. He said, AI is already changing how companies hire, especially for entry-level jobs.
Exactly. And it's not just tech jobs either. Bloomberg had an article that suggests this is happening all over. Like, as AI gets more common, this is going to be the new normal in every industry.
So AI is like changing the whole game, not just what jobs exist, but what you even need to learn to be successful. Wild. So we're seeing AI change the game right before our eyes. And with that in mind, it's hard not to think about what happens if this trend continues. I mean, what happens when AI becomes so advanced that it can perform most jobs more efficiently than humans?
Well, that's a question that leads us to none other than Elon Musk and his, shall we say, optimistic outlook on a future without traditional jobs. At the recent VivaTech conference, he painted a picture of a world where AI takes care of everything, and humans are free to pursue their passions or simply enjoy their abundance of free time.
It does sound a bit utopian, doesn't it? No more Monday morning blues, just endless possibilities to explore our creative sides or finally write that novel we've always talked about. But is it really that simple?
Musk seems to believe that this future of universal high income, where everyone benefits from the productivity of AI, is within reach. However, even he acknowledges that such a dramatic shift in how society functions would come with its own set of challenges. At VivaTech, he posed this rather profound question. If a computer and the robots can do everything better than you, does your life have meaning?
It's a question that cuts to the core of what it means to be human, isn't it? Work for many provides a sense of purpose, a reason to get up in the morning, a way to contribute to something larger than themselves. So what happens when that's taken away, even if it's replaced with leisure and abundance?
Exactly. Yeah. It's not just about having free time. It's about having a sense of purpose within that free time. And let's not forget the potential social implications. The idle hands theory, as they call it, suggests that too much unstructured free time without a sense of purpose can lead to social unrest. Societies have always been structured around work, and a sudden shift away from that could have unpredictable consequences.
It's almost like we need to rethink our entire societal framework, from education to social safety nets to prepare for a future where work might not look anything like it does today. But before we spiral down that rabbit hole, synthetic work also highlighted some other pretty significant developments in the AI world that are worth exploring. Speaking of powerful entities shaping the future of work, let's shift our focus to OpenAI and its intriguing moves in the media landscape. They've been busy forming strategic partnerships with major media companies like The Atlantic, Vox Media, and even News Corp, which owns the Wall Street Journal.
These partnerships are incredibly interesting because they hint at OpenAI's ambition to become more than just a tool provider. By gaining access to the vast data sets of high-quality content these media giants possess, OpenAI is essentially laying the groundwork for its AI models to become, well, the ultimate content creators.
It's a bit like giving the keys to the library to an AI that never sleeps and can read a million books a minute. And then this AI starts churning out articles, scripts, maybe even novels that rival the work of the most celebrated human writers. In fact, Synthetic Work shared a Twitter thread from Brett Winton, who's the chief futurist at ARK Invest. He raised some really interesting questions about whether this signals the beginning of the end for human journalists as we know them.
It's a valid concern. Imagine an AI that can write with the accuracy of a seasoned journalist, the creativity of a novelist, and the speed and efficiency that no human could ever hope to match. It could potentially revolutionize the media industry, but it also raises a whole host of ethical and philosophical questions about the nature of creativity, ownership, and even the role of human experience in shaping narratives.
Absolutely. And it gets even more interesting. Remember how OpenAI is developing these AI agents that can perform tasks online, like conducting research or analyzing data? Well, synthetic work suggests that these agents, combined with the wealth of information gleaned from these media partnerships, could potentially lead to the rise of AI-powered investigative journalists.
That's a fascinating prospect. Imagine an AI that can sift through mountains of data, connect seemingly disparate pieces of information, and uncover patterns and insights that would completely elude even the most astute human analyst. The potential for groundbreaking investigative journalism is huge, but it also begs the question of who controls the narrative and how we ensure accuracy and prevent biases in a world where AI is driving the news cycle.
It's a lot to wrap our heads around. On one hand, we have this potential for incredible advancements in how we understand and interact with the world. But on the other, there are these fundamental questions about what it means to be human in a world increasingly shaped by AI. It really is a lot, right? It's like every time AI does something cool, it brings up a whole new bunch of questions.
Totally. And that's why we have to be paying attention.
Yeah,
Think about this stuff carefully. Like synthetic work talked about these surveys about how many people are actually using AI. And it just shows how important it is to look at all sides of what's going on.
right. One survey, I think it was from the Reuters Institute, said that not that many people are using AI every day. But then McKinsey had their other survey and they said AI is blowing up, everyone's using it. It's like, which one is it? Is AI taking over or is it still just a toy?
That's the big question, isn't it? And I think it just shows how fast things are changing. The point isn't really about which survey is right. It's more about realizing that we're trying to understand something that's changing every single day. Even data that's a few months old might be totally irrelevant now.
It's like trying to hit a moving target for sure.
Yeah.
Makes you realize that being able to learn new things, being flexible, that's what's going to matter most with all this AI stuff. Speaking of learning, did you see that OpenAI made those custom GPTs available for everyone now? Even if you don't pay for the fancy version.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw that. Pretty smart move if you ask me.
oh,
Anyone can create their own custom version of ChatGPT now, right?
oh.
Make it do exactly what they need.
What makes you say it's a smart move?
Think about it. By giving this technology away, basically, OpenAI is getting everyone to experiment. People are going to be using it in ways they never even imagined. And OpenAI gets to see all that. It's like they're learning from everyone who uses it.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. It's not just about giving people a new toy, it's about seeing what those people do with it. Which, hey, speaking of cool new toys, we've got a couple of our own custom GPTs here at Synthetic Work. You guys should totally check them out. There's the Research Assistant, which helps you keep up with all the latest AI research, all the stuff that's going to change the future of work. And then there's the Presentation Assistant. That one helps you make killer presentations, the kind that'll really wow your audience. We'll link to both of those in the show notes.
Both great tools, if I do say so myself. They show just how useful these custom GPTs can be.
Totally. And while we're talking about AI shaking things up, remember that research paper Synthetic Work talked about, the one where GPT-4 without even being specifically trained for it, did a better job than human analysts at predicting how much money companies were going to make, just by looking
Wow.
at their financial reports, I mean.
Oh, yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
I mean, financial analysts, they've always used their knowledge and experience to try and predict the future, right? And suddenly,
Whoa.
GPT-4 just swoops in and beats them at their own game
Yeah.
just by crunching numbers. It really makes you wonder what expertise even means anymore.
For real. It's kind of scary, If AI can do that with financial stuff, what else can it do?
Right. And the crazy part is, the researchers who did that study, they actually made a custom GPT so anyone can try it. We'll make sure to link that too. It's a trip, seeing what this technology can do firsthand. Maybe it's a sneak peek into the future of finance. Who knows?
Definitely a lot to think about. We've covered some serious ground today. AI changing how businesses are run, AI writing the news, maybe even AI deciding if we get a job in the first place. It's clear that things are changing crazy fast, and no one really knows what's next.
That's the truth.
Hmm.
The best thing we can do is stay informed, keep talking about this stuff, and never forget that there are real people at the heart of all this technology.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Big thanks to Synthetic Work for the awesome insights in issue #64, and thanks to all of you for joining us on this wild ride. Until next time, stay curious.